Welcome to the Spirit of a Badass, where we celebrate stories of courage, hope, and resiliency. I am your host, Alecia Jacobson. Hello, and welcome to today's episode. Today's episode is a little bit different, as I was going to do this as a solo episode. And then I'm like showering because I'm still, if you can tell by my voice, I am still a bit under the weather, and I have just like some nasally stuff. So I kind of sound like I'm, I don't know, talking through some sort of weird thing. But I was showering and I thought, hey, today's the one word episode. This is my third time doing this episode. And I was just kind of thinking, you know, what am I going to say that is different? And then I thought, hey, I have a friend and client that I know has done this. And wouldn't it be great to bring her on and kind of have a conversation of what it looks like to choose your word? Because I've already done the episode that kind of tells you how to. And this is based on the book One Word by John Gordon, Dan Britton, and Jimmy Page. And it's something that I have done Facebook groups on. And I think this dates all the way back to like maybe 2016. I don't know. I just remember being on a plane going someplace and I'm like, I'm going to start a Facebook group. I'm going to get people doing this. And then I got a shit ton of people doing it. And now it's sort of become, I think there was a couple years that I didn't do it. And now I'm sharing it. If you listen to the original episode that I did, I had a Facebook group. I'm choosing not to do that this year. But I'm going to share it here. And we're going to kind of go through today what it looks like to choose your word, what it looks like to live your word, what it looks like to forget your word, because your girl forgot her word last year and totally off the rails. Like when I was preparing for this episode, I was like, what did I pick last year? I had to go back and read the notes from last year's episode because did not do it. So my guest today is Marissa Kaiser. Marissa has been a longtime friend and client of mine. I think we go back to like 2011. Like this was like, I feel like my other life. I've had several lives, and I feel like you were from like my middle life. That I'm in my last, well, maybe not my last life, but I'm in the one after that right now. And Marissa and I have been working together for, I think, nearly 3 years we're coming up on. And I feel like Marissa has had several lives also. Yes. I feel like everybody I have on here, it's like you have several different lives, which is so delightful to sort of recreate and do these things. And Marissa and I have worked on many things together over the years. And she is here today to kind of share how she has chosen her word, what it looks like to live her word in good times and in challenging times, and kind of the process that she goes through. And one of the neat things about Marissa is she is one of the most kind of introspective, just really magical human beings. And that really shows through. And I wanted to kind of bring her on to share her energy with you, because the lens that she sees things through is so, the word is magical. She has a magical energy to her spirit. And it is one of the most just wonderful things. And I get to take part in that. And I know the people that she works with get to also kind of bask in that. And they're so lucky. So I'm really happy to have Marissa on with us today. Welcome, Marissa.
Thanks, Alecia. That was a really nice warm welcome. And it's really weird seeing you on video because we always just do phone calls. So
yeah, this is, so we talked about this in the beginning. Marissa and I, every conversation that we have ever had has been over the phone. A lot of times when I meet with people, I meet with them either in person in my office, I meet with them on Zoom, or over the phone. And Marissa is one that 100% of the time we have been over the phone. This almost seems like, do you ever watch Love is Blind?
Yeah.
I love that show. Like the shows that I watch, like last night we're watching Selling Sunset. Like I just love the trashy check out drama TV, and Love is Blind is one of them. And they always try to then match the face. Although we see each other, I guess, on social media. It's not live. So like wasn't shocked at like, oh, I didn't know what you look like. Like I know what you look like, but it's still very weird to have an actual conversation and see your head and face, like everything moving.
My reactions as you speak.
Yes. How are you today?
Today is very cold, but the sun is out, which makes me happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, no, you are. So Marissa, like I'm cold here in Wisconsin. Marissa is like way, way, way up north, right?
So it's like 40 minutes from Lake Superior. It's -13 this morning. And I was like, yeah, let's go for a snowshoe. So,
Did you?
of course, Alecia, I had to get in that forest.
Yeah. So she is. So when I say magical, like she does the things. If I had like, there are certain things in life that I would like to be like. Marissa is one of them. Like she is outside in nature like I like to look at the nature. I would like to be in it. However, I don't like weather. So unless it's perfect, I don't do it.
Yeah.
So you went snowshoeing?
I did.
How was
I
it?
needed that. It was magical. It was lovely. The trees are completely snow covered. It was a little sketchy. Like I didn't want to go in the woods for a while because I feared, a limb falling down on my head or something. So
Yeah.
finally feel safe to be back out there, and it's lovely. Just that quietness, the peace. Like I could cry out here. I could scream out here. No one would ever know.
Yeah. Oh, that I went out because since I've been sick, the only thing it's just kind of awful because I hate the cold, but the only thing that makes me be able to breathe is being out in the cold. So I kept going outside. I'm like, oh, it is really, and I live in the city, but it was so like quiet. And I was like, oh, I wish I could just take a stroll because this would be really delightful.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, get your ass back inside, girl.
Come on up. Just a little 5-hour drive. You could be up here in the woods
Right?
with me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. How long have you been snowshoeing for?
Like I can't
Forever?
remember a time I didn't snowshoe.
Oh, okay. I've never done it before. It got really, people started talking about it in COVID, snowshoeing. I don't know if you knew that or this is just a thing that it's always been, if it's always been a part of your world, you're probably like, but I know people started talking about it in COVID and they were like, let me buy snowshoes and go try being outside. And I did not do that, but I saw people
There's
doing
still
it.
time for you.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I will just watch the people from my warm car as I drive by thinking, oh, that looks nice. Enjoy your time out there. Oh, all right, Marissa. So how long have you been doing this one word? Do you remember?
I was trying to think back. I think I really started like around 2020. I think that was when I was like, okay, let's do this. Let this be a thing.
Okay.
And it's no surprise that my words usually come to me when I'm outside in the forest.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things is part of this is not just choosing a word, like just thinking like, oh, here's a word and I want to pick it. The idea is sort of that you give space for the word to come to you and that you, even after it does, because I was telling Marissa before we started that I thought, so yesterday I was about to record this and my husband was on a call and every time I started like getting ready to like, I'm sitting here ready and he would talk and it was so loud. And I was like, okay, this is going to have to wait, which I'm so glad because we would not be here together had he not been
Thank
booming.
you, Joe.
Yes. Right. So making space for it to come. So I thought I had mine and because it sort of just washed over me, which it does every year when I'm not expecting it. And then as I'm sitting here and I was going to share about it, I was like, wait, that actually does not feel right. It feels right in some areas of life, but it doesn't feel right as in this is the word for the year. How do you know for you, like, what does it feel like when it's like, yes?
I think it feels like it's not coming from my mind. Like,
oh,
it's like in my body, I can feel it. It's not my mind saying, okay, this is what it should be because this is what you want to focus on next. It's, okay, this is kind of what I need.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because yesterday it was definitely my mind because the one I was going to pick is regulate.
Mm-hmm.
Episode that I did with Emma Schuster when we talked about somatic healing.
Yes.
One of the things I've realized that I have been doing is and I talk on this on the bingo card episode also, but I have been either in high stress and sort of my motivation comes from extreme adrenaline and stress, or I'm on the other side where it's like kind of apathy. And it's like, how can I be regulated and come from the middle? And that word regulate, I was like, this is what my year needs. This is my goal for the year. But then as I was thinking, I'm like, no, that's not that is not it. Is that what I need to work on this year? Wholeheartedly, yes. Like that is a strong yes, but that is not the word. And I was thankful that before I got on to record that I was like, girl, this is not it. So yeah, it didn't come from it was coming from my mind.
Yeah.
Yes. So what are some words that you have chosen in the past?
So in the past, transcend was one of my year's words. I think that was when we maybe started working together and I was working on leaving my career for the first time and resigning.
Yeah. So that was a big thing. So one of the things Marissa and I worked on was she came to me, she had been in her, I mean, I would call that almost like your home career. Like that felt like home to you. Marissa previously was a school counselor and you were a school counselor for how many years?
Over a decade at that point. And I was like K-12, post-COVID, I was like, this is too much.
Too much. And she came to me kind of like, I don't even know how I would describe that because I couldn't see you, but
a hot mess.
Maybe, yeah. And we worked on, okay, what does it look like to, I talk a lot mostly on social media, but what does it look like when you realize, oh, I'm done and I can't do this anymore. However, this is how you have identified yourself and who you are, because most of us, we kind of chatted about this prior to recording today. Most people identify who they are by what they do. And that is just that's not it. But it's like, and I have gone, I think I don't do networking really, but everybody who came up to me is like, what do you do? And I'm like, fucking A, I hate what? Can we just not? And at one point I just said something dumb because I was like, this is the stupidest question ever.
But it's so easy, right? It's easy to connect and label people right away. And then you think you can connect with them on something if we know what they do.
Yes. Which I'm just like, can we not? Yeah. So anyway, all right. So that's when Marissa and I originally started working, that's what we were working on. So transcend. So how did that in that year for you? What did it look like? Because the idea is you have this word and you kind of, it's almost like putting on a set of glasses. Was it transcend or transcendent?
Transcend.
Okay. So transcend glasses. And then when you make decisions, when you have certain areas of life, when you have things that kind of come to you, you live through this lens, essentially. How did that show up in that year for you? Do you remember?
Well, we did a lot of like reprogramming work together. And so it was just like getting myself out of thinking like, yes, this was my safety zone and my comfort, and that's all I knew. And it was rewarding in so many ways, but there was that part of me that knew it wasn't right. So I resigned and then I went back. So transcend didn't really stick too much that year. And then the following year it was trust and surrender. And we worked some more and like trusted. Why did I go back? Well, there's still things I needed to work on and still areas I needed to grow on to get to that point where it felt safer to leave.
Yeah. So isn't that interesting? I mean, the words really aligned. And also I just want to point out that sometimes when we make decisions, the going back is also like, okay, are there things that need to be wrapped up? Is there unfinished business that needs to be tended to? And trusting, to your next word, that you will figure it out. I think that is a theme that came up a lot, is trusting that it will get figured out. And just let me tell you, all will fucking figure it out. Like, have some faith in yourself. Like, you got the answers. You're just, what is that? It's out now. Wicked. Like, just, you have the answers. What, the lady with the ruby slippers?
Glenda?
Dorothy. Thank you. So what did it look like? So we have the transcend year. What did it look like the following year? Like, take us a little bit of what it looked like to, you said it's not coming from your head, but when you get it, and then what does it look like? Just give a couple of examples of kind of processing through the word during your year.
Can I use this past year?
You can use anything.
That one. Okay. So 2025, my words were devoted and bliss. 2025 was not blissful enough. Let's just go with that. But I have these words on a marker board in one of the rooms in my house where I sometimes go in. So they're always there, right? But these would be things that would be like my anchors. Like when the doozy things were happening and be like, okay, devoted and bliss. What am I devoted to right now? Where can I lean into bliss later? So a big part of 2025 for me was supporting a parent going through cancer and their chemo journey. And it was like, okay, I'll be devoted to being the best daughter I can be, to support and serve in this process. And I need to devote that time also into my own self-care. And then the bliss of like, this fucking sucks. I know I can swear in here, right? So
Yes,
like,
you can.
where can I find those little glimmers and like lean into that bliss and know that I deserve that? And that's a big piece of this, is like not getting wallowed down in the heaviness, in the chaos, in the darkness, in the fear, but like, okay, there's that bliss out there. So find it, have a little bit of it, and then go back to being devoted in all those ways you need to be.
Yeah. Did you feel like you could have them at the same time?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But I think personally, that's a spot I'm still working on. Like for me, it's kind of like, this has got to be hard, so I'm going to sludge through it. But then bliss is like, you can have both. They can coexist at the same time, but I'm not fully in that track yet.
That seems like, I mean, anything like that, where it's like, for you, you had no idea that what they were really going to mean throughout the year, and how it almost seems like they're kind of on, different ends. Like devoted is kind of giving energy and doing things like that. And this bliss is like, okay, come back to like, let me get you. You're here. I liked how you said lean into it. I think that is really like, let me, where I can find it. That seems very anchoring. And then also it feels, saying that you had them and on a marker board, it's like, okay, this is important to me. This is something that I want to live. And it sounds like, I always kind of think of bowling with the bumpers.
Yes.
It's like you got kind of like two sides to that. And it's like, it kind of like keeps you in like, no, here's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then to your point of, you're still working on it. That's a really tricky to be in such a tough space in life and still have that bliss or whatever feeling that other people have other things. Like one for me is peace. I'm always looking, can I just have some fucking peace, please? And just like that calmness.
Yeah.
And that's a really, it's tricky. I have not arrived. I have found, like you said, kind of like moments of it, but finding that is, I feel like those type of things are always going, like, I feel like that is a forever working on. Even the people who are probably really good at it, that's probably a forever, because challenges are always going to come up and change and be different. All right. So kind of challenging years, I feel like all years are challenging and lovely and wonderful. Like there's good in all also. And then some years are more challenging. Is there anything kind of in looking back with your word that stands out that has been like a really kind of like, I have one that I'll share in a minute here, but is there anything that stands out as like, oh, this was a moment that my word was so powerful and I really remember kind of using that lens in this moment?
There's so many. I don't think I can pinpoint just one. I mean, there's so many days that those words guided me, driving to chemo and being there and just like armoring up to support and serve, and like really, really, really crunchy at some points, but like being authentic as well. And then like, okay, I did that, and now let's crawl into the sauna blanket because we need a little bit of bliss after a day like that. Like there's so many. Okay.
That's really great. I mean, so I have lots of things that I offer as far as sort of like lenses or goal set, just things like that. So we have like the bingo, which is where I offer the kind of, what do you want to bring more into, and different ways of like setting goals through the year. We have the vision board that we do where it's like, here are things that I want to achieve. This is such a different opportunity for people. And as you can hear Marissa sharing about, she's driving and she's thinking about, how do I incorporate this kind of framework, idea, feeling, belief into my day. So when you're kind of deciding, like, so when you're kind of doing these things, it's just really neat because, like Marissa is saying, they can really anchor you in and they can really make a big difference. And trying different kind of modalities in setting yourself up for your year, if that feels right, can be so supportive of you and feel just so kind of guiding and comforting, almost like you have like someone else there, not someone else, but it's just a support system kind of.
Yeah, a support system. A presence of those words and what they represent and how you're going to carry them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like what are those like tether lines that people use to like ski? Whatever that would be. Like it pulls you. It's like, I have companionship here with me. Like, or like I saw these construction worker people and they had like a anchor thing like tethered to them. So that's like, oh no, I gotcha.
Yes.
Like these words are like, I gotcha. I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
All right. Do you have your word for, you don't have to share it, but where are you in the process for this upcoming year?
So since seeing you post on Facebook, it's been percolating. I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be time soon. And so things are popping in and I'm writing some down, but it's just going to have to come organically on another snowshoe hike probably.
Yeah. And so that is how, I don't want to tell you how to do this, but it's essentially like having the awareness of I'm making space for a word to come to me for this 2026 year, and then intentionally creating the space for it to come. Mine last year, so 2 years ago, well, we'll go back like 10 years. There was one that it was believe. And I think I did like some sort of an event for it. I don't know. I just remember I had a rock that I painted the word on. And then there was another one. I had a vision board and I colored the word. It was imagine. 2 years ago was probably my most impactful year. And that was which seems like a really bizarre. Go listen. I can't remember what episode that was, but go listen to that episode if you want the more kind of like structured way of how to pick your word. But that one was I remember one time I was getting ready in the morning and we know that I'm negatively drawn, and I was bitching about something in my head. And I was like, and what else? And it really shifted. I just remember that being a moment where I was like, oh, you don't have to keep choosing this girl. And what else could be true at the same time? And that word was that was the moment that shifted, and I was able to then incorporate it into more of who I am. So these words, like I said, last year was ready. Oh, fuck. Was I not ready? I went back and I listened to the episode from last year. And I was like, do you ever like see something that you've written or something that you've thought and you're like, you just laugh because you were like, oh, how you didn't know.
2025 was a doozy for everybody. Alecia, give yourself a break.
Right? Oh, I just laughed because I was like, I don't know what I'm ready for, but I just know that I'm ready. No, you are not, girl. You are not ready by any sense of the mean ready. However, by being open to that, because I think I did prime myself for at least the first, like through March, I think. And then after March, I was kind of like, I just let it come to me and I'm just going to handle it as it goes. However, I think kind of like you were saying, even though it didn't kind of play out, not that, I mean, because that's the thing is we're not actually planning this out. We're just using it as a lens. And even though in my head kind of thinking what that meant for me, it's still like I heard someplace where it's like when you read a book, you don't remember everything necessarily, but it's like you dip your hand in and you take out some information, just a little bit. It's sticky. Like if you stick your hand in something, you pull it out, you don't have the whole bucket that you stick your hand into, but like there's a little residue on it. And that's kind of what this is it's like there was something there, and it did prepare me for some things. It did kind of open my mind to some things. I didn't do the readiness. I think I just must have been real jazzed up. I was real ready. And then the year came and I was like, just sit your ass down, girl. Take a hot minute, take a beat.
And we need that sometimes. But you laid that foundation.
See, and that's what it's about. And it's like, I think this is a neat one because it's not where, you know, I'm doing a vision board workshop in January 15th at the Monroe Street Art Center. That's an in-person event. Just I'll link that in here also. But that is a very, like, these are more concrete. Like, I have my vision board. This is concrete things that, like, it's almost like a yes or no, you know? And some of the things on my vision board are sort of like a in progress. And I don't think of that as like a pass fail type thing. But this is so different when it comes to kind of a way to do kind of goal setting. Like, it's not goal setting. It is, how do I want to set myself up to kind of be a little different, to be more becoming versus, I think that was my word one time, becoming. Now that I say that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of goals. So I think that's why this resonates so much, because it has more of that intentional focus. Like, this is an intention. How can I get it wrong? How can I miss the boat? Well,
you can't. Even if it turns out differently than you thought, you can't. Yeah. So if you're, the reason that I do this every year, because I don't think there's many that, I mean, I've only been doing this podcast this will be my third year at it. But the reason that I bring this up every year, even I was doing it, like I said, I had groups that I did it with, is because it has made such an impact. Like, people tell me when I was in your group, they tell me stories about what an impact this was. So that is why I keep doing this. It might not be for everybody. I forgot it last year, you know, so it's like, it's fine. It's fine. But 2 years ago, it was a huge deal. 2 years ago, it was a big impact. So I think there's just trying some things, trying on different ways of doing things, because you never know. And, you know, you can go and read the book 1 year if you want to. It gives more structure and more of a framework. The biggest takeaway, I would say, is back to what Marissa said about, it's not coming from your head. It's coming from your body. Or I know people feel things differently, but this is less of a heady type thing. Unless, I guess, and that's what you want to fucking do, go fucking do it. I don't know. I mean, this is you. Like, don't let me tell you what to do.
Yeah. Us generators over here coming from our gut, right?
I know. Yes. I know. Sometimes I realize that I talk, and we're talking about human design right now, in case you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, a generator? I realize that I talk so much in that way that sometimes I realize, like, oh, you don't know the language I'm speaking. It's okay. It's all right. People who know.
Yes.
Like, if you feel it, you feel it. That's what I mean. Yeah. Human design is really cool, though. So check that out, too. I did an episode. I don't know when. You just have to type it in and search sometime. Oh.
Yeah, I remember in one coaching session, you kept asking me, like, do you know your human design? Do you know your human design? It's like, geez, Alecia, I guess I'm supposed to go learn about my human design. And I did. And I was like, holy shit. Like,
yeah,
that's helpful.
Yes. It's so, and again, it's just another tool. It's another, some people might be like, oh, that doesn't at all. But because mine, I think the biggest thing, we're kind of going off here, but it's all right. The biggest thing for me as a generator was realizing, because I always thought I was that something was like inherently wrong with me because I didn't have original thoughts of my own. And then I found, like, I think, what's it called? Open head, I think is what it's, and then I realized, like, oh, I'm supposed to take in information and then sort of regurgitate it and remake it as my, essentially a different spin on it, but I'm not supposed to come up with original ideas. And that was so validating for me, because I have thought for 40 years, like, girl, there's no originality in what you're thinking. And that I took as a really sort of negative thing. And that was probably the biggest game changer for me.
Human design is just so liberating, right? It's like, this is who I'm supposed to be, who I came here to be. And let me step away from all those things that I was told I should be.
Yeah. And we know I hate the fucking shoulds. I hate them so much. All right. Anything that you think would be helpful to sort of cap this off, or just share that maybe was a really impactful around finding your word, living your word, anything like that you think, like, oh, this would be really great for people to know?
I think when you know it, and trust that. Don't second guess it. And if you're a generator and you're guided by your gut, like Alecia and I, you'll feel in your gut. Yeah.
Definitely. That's interesting. I wonder, it would be interesting to see what overlap that would have, where people, there's 5 of them, I believe, like where they would know it, have their knowing at. That's interesting. I like that.
For another episode.
I know, right? All right. Okay. Well, I think I can't remember if I already said this or not, but I don't have my word yet. So I can't even, a lot of times I'll share it on this episode. I don't know it yet. I have to make space for it. And I don't even have a lot of windshield time. Mine actually would come to me a lot of times when I was driving long drives. But I have started meditating again as a regular practice. I know. I have my Aura ring, and it was like, your daytime stress is high. Your daytime stress is high. And I'm like, what have I not been doing? I have not been meditating. So I've started meditating daily before I go get my girls from school. And that has, you could tell it, like my stress did a nosedive. So it has been, so if you're stressed, even like a 5-minute meditation can help. So there's my plug for meditation. Big time. Yeah.
So I would just also add, like, it doesn't have to be one word. I mean, like mine was 2 words, and maybe it's a small phrase, like, do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was somebody else on, because I had just put a note out on Facebook saying, what stories do you have or anything like that I could share? And one of the other ones was a phrase. And I've had that before too, where people have said it's a phrase. So again, like, do whatever the fuck you want. And it's a really neat way to just kind of go through your year and sort of like that guiding light, or that kind of coming back to that anchor of what does it look like when I apply this word to decision making, or the way I interact with my family, the way I interact with, the thoughts that come in my head, and just everything like that. It's a really neat lens to apply over things.
Yes.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much. And I'll put it in the show notes, but where can people find out more about you or connect with you?
Over on Instagram. That's where I'm most happening, and who knows what I'll be up to.
Okay. What's your Instagram handle?
I am resilience.
Okay. See, I love her so much. Yes. All right. Have a fabulous day. Thank you. And if you know of anybody who would benefit from this episode, or you're like, hey, I want to get a group together and do this one word together, send this. You can also go back to, I believe it was like the first 2023, 2024, maybe. I don't know. Just scroll back through the episodes. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes in here so we can do it that way. So I'll make less work for you, because I clearly did not have it written down to share on this episode, but I'll put it in the show notes so you can go listen to the other one if you want to. Thank you, Marissa, so much for kind of impromptu being here. As I sent her a note yesterday, I was like, hey, you want to jump on the podcast with me? So thank you.
My gut said yes. So thank you for inviting me.
Yes. All right. Bye. Spirit of a Badass is a Lit Path Studios podcast and is produced by Jamie Gale and Alecia Jacobson. Music by Shane Ivers. We'll be back with another inspiring interview. Until then, keep your spirits high and your energy badass.